Right now, UW-Madison officials are denouncing protesters who used a noose as a climate change protest this morning. And as Hurricane Dorian makes landfall in North Carolina, there is concern about hundreds of people who chose to wait it out.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now on this Friday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Mark. It's been a very cloudy morning so far. We're still looking at the cloud cover out there, but I think we'll start to see some sunshine. Just we have to give it a little bit of time towards the afternoon. Here's a live look towards the east from the station. Of course, things are very gray. We have a strong wind coming out of the north and northwest at 14 miles per hour right now as a cold front has swept on through. The temperature 65. Now, Janesville at 72, Mineral Point at 70, Boscobel and Prairie du Chien also at 72. What's happening in the west, which is the reason that their temperatures are just a bit warmer, is you're seeing a little bit more of that sunshine start to filter on in. So a lot of that cloud cover still working its way towards the south and east. Eventually, we'll start to see more of that sunshine joining the picture. That's when our temperatures will warm up. Look for a high around 71 as we become partly sunny. This afternoon, we'll cool back down into the 50s overnight tonight with clear skies. It looks like a pretty calm weekend for us overall, Mark. Of course, I'll be keeping everyone up to date in just a few minutes.
A little chilly out there.
Yes, it is.
We'll survive. We'll see you in a few minutes, Chris.
All right.
UW-Madison officials say protesters who used nooses during a climate change protest this morning were misguided and hurtful, according to a university statement. Two protesters at the corner of Park Street and University Avenue wore nooses as a means of protest. University officials wrote, "Nooses are a hateful symbol with deep impacts on our students, faculty, staff, and community. Their use to amplify any issue is misguided, hurtful, and contrary to UW-Madison's values of civility, respect, and inclusion." University police responded to the scene to talk with protesters about their actions. They removed the nooses and left. Hurricane Dorian has come ashore on the southern tip of North Carolina's Outer Banks. The storm pounded the region with top sustained winds of 90 miles an hour and sheets of rain. Katherine Johnson is in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina with the latest.
Dorian took its last shot at the U.S., battering North Carolina's Outer Banks as a Category 1 storm.
This latest development shows that we cannot yet let our guard down.
There's concern about hundreds of people who chose to not evacuate and may be trapped on Ocracoke Island.
There are rescue teams ready as soon as they can get in.
Emergency officials here in North Carolina warn the biggest issue is going to be flash flooding. Storm surges are expected up to 7 feet. The storm's violent winds were on display at this light station off the coast of North Carolina. From space, Dorian still seems menacing. More than 350,000 homes and businesses have lost power. Dorian sideswiped the southeast coast, spawning at least 24 tornadoes. This waterspout became a tornado that tore through an RV park.
2 minutes down from my house, there was 2 tornadoes that had touched down. And I've never been in one. I don't want to be in one.
Dorian also caused widespread flooding in coastal communities around Charleston and Wilmington.
When you've been displaced in a storm like this 2 years in a row, it's tough. It's tough on the family.
Dorian is expected to continue skirting the eastern seaboard throughout the weekend. Storm surge, hurricane, and tropical storm warnings and watches have been issued as far north as Canada. On the Jersey Shore, hurricane flags are up and the beaches are deserted. Katherine Johnson, CBS News, Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina.
A pair of wildfires in California are threatening homes and prompting large-scale evacuations. Crews race to beat back flames that reached the fence of this Southern California home. One of the hundreds threatened when heavy winds kicked up the Tinaja fire on Thursday afternoon. Some 800 firefighters facing 90-degree temperatures attacked the fire with bulldozers on the ground and water-dropping helicopters from above. Police officers and firefighters patrolled neighborhoods, warning families it was time to go.
This is a rapidly evolving incident, so we are asking people to stay out of the area.
They don't know which way it's going to go, so they just recommend that we get out of here as quick as possible.
The hillsides haven't burned in more than 20 years, which firefighters say creates a massive amount of fuel. Right now, officials are not saying when they'll let people return to their homes. New video now of a deadly crash in Milwaukee. A driver loses control and his car slams into a tree in front of someone's home, sending the windshield flying. Home surveillance video captured the whole thing early Thursday morning. Almost immediately, Good Samaritans rushed in to help.
So I ran out, tried to pull the guy out of the car up that was in the driver's seat. Looked like he was in the back seat. The impact was just that great. So I tried to pull him out, but at that point, he really appeared to be lifeless.
Police say the crash killed the driver. A passenger survived. They have not been identified. A driver is facing charges after a high-speed chase. A Dane County Sheriff's deputy stopped 21-year-old Keelan Seaton in the town of Dunn. Then he took off. He sped away from officers through the town of Dunn, Madison, and Fitchburg at speeds reaching up to 94 miles an hour. The chase ended when he hit a curb and a roundabout, leaving his car disabled. Funeral services are planned for the Madison hydrogeologist killed in a random shooting. Ben Christensen worked for Sauk City-based Raymaker and Associates. He was stabbed to death by a stranger while collecting soil samples in Greenfield. He would have turned 50 on Labor Day. Christensen's visitation is being held Tuesday at Unitarian Universalist Church in Wausau. Police say 19-year-old Armando Lang has been charged with first-degree intentional homicide. Lang told investigators he thought Christensen was a criminal who was going to murder him and his family. His mother told investigators Lang is autistic and may have stopped taking his medicine. The Wisconsin Better Business Bureau is warning about beauty products ads on Facebook. There have been complaints nationwide about the Glamour Place. According to the BBB, the ads show makeup at low prices, but buyers aren't receiving the products. The Glamour Place website has no address or phone number on it, and the BBB has not received responses to any of its emails to the company. Officials recommend only doing business with companies that you can verify their existence, especially if you're responding to a social media ad. CDC officials are continuing to advise people to avoid all pig-eared dog treats due to the risk of salmonella infection. Dogs can get sick from eating them, and people can get sick from handling them. In a month, 16 new cases were reported, bringing the total to 143 illnesses in 35 states. No deaths have occurred. Signs of salmonella infection include diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, we've got a few tips so you don't lose a lifetime of recipes and memories. Stick around, and I'll show you. If your mother or grandmother is a great cook and you haven't learned how to make all of their family favorites yet, you really need to do something about it. If you don't, those classic recipes that you grew up with could be lost forever. So here's what I suggest. If by some chance she has the recipes written down, sit with her and watch her make them. It's important to do this because the recipe is probably splattered, tattered, and torn, making it nearly impossible to read. Beyond that, I wouldn't be surprised if your mom or grandma made it a bit different to make it her very own. Now, I want to share with you a recipe for cabbage soup that I grew up with. It's a hearty old world dish that my grandmother got from her mom. Back then she made it because it only cost pennies to make a big pot full. Today we make it because it's so darn good. If you like my grandmother's recipe for what we call worth the wait cabbage soup, just go online now. After that, make sure you start documenting all your family favorites so you don't lose a lifetime of recipes. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found Grandma Rose's way. That's my grandmother, for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, thank you, Mr. Food. Next at noon, sunshine gradually, clearing skies today, hopefully. The weekend, there's a slight chance of showers. Chris Reese will have your first alert forecast next. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Attorneys general across the country are launching an investigation into Google's impact on digital advertising. And a new survey shows a majority of workers fantasize about how they'd quit their job. Diane King Hall has your Money Watch report.
Dozens of state attorneys general are kicking off antitrust probes into Facebook and Google beginning next week. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Google's impact on digital advertising and the potential harm of its access to personal data is expected to be scrutinized. The job market is a heavy focus this morning, and the government is reporting the economy added 130,000 jobs last month. Federal employment grew due to the hiring of 2020 census workers, but the total number of jobs was weaker than expected, and the unemployment rate remained at 3.7%. Now, many have considered quitting a job. Some have even fantasized about how they would do it. In fact, wanting to stick it to the boss is common because roughly 76% of workers say they have or had a toxic boss. That's according to a Monster.com survey, which also showed only 19% of respondents viewed their boss as a mentor. And Chipotle is trying to help ease the transition to fall. The company says it is offering free delivery on burritos, tacos, and guac every Sunday this month. To take advantage of the deal, customers have to order through its app or online and meet the $10 minimum requirement. And that's our CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
All right, Dan, thank you. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrials up 91 points. The NASDAQ up about a half a point. And the S&P 500 up 4 1/4. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn today. So here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Chris Reese standing by over at the weather board, keeping an eye on Dorian.
That's right. Dorian has been a pretty big newsmaker as of late. So here's the latest with the hurricane itself. Dorian, a Category 1, now moving away after making a brief landfall on the Outer Banks of North Carolina earlier today. Winds sustained at 90 miles per hour, moving towards the north and east at 17 miles per hour. So Dorian has sped up quite a bit, as opposed to moving at a whopping 1 mile per hour when it was down closer towards Florida and the Bahamas. Now, as we go through time, Dorian's going to move away. He's going to continue out over the northern Atlantic, making landfall, especially as you get your way up towards Nova Scotia, and then eventually fizzling out over Newfoundland and out in parts of Canada. So what we're seeing today is often the last of the actual storm Dorian. Then we will all focus on the aftermath and rebuilding. For us, clear skies, well, no, not clear skies, but a clear radar. Anyway, no rainfall out there, but we have certainly had a lot of cloud cover as some rainfall moved through northern Wisconsin and then over towards Michigan. So given that, it has certainly been a great look. Even though a lot of the rainfall moving away, the cloud cover is stuck around, especially out of the north. But check what's happening just as you work your way back towards the west. As you get up towards La Crosse, back towards Dubuque, Iowa, over towards Platteville, that's likely where you're starting to see a little bit more in the way of some of that sunshine outside. And it's getting ever so close to us here in Madison, but it is still a very gray look for a large part of central Wisconsin along with eastern Wisconsin, and you're still going to be seeing that going through today. Here's a live look from the Edgewater right now. The clouds have kept our temperatures cooler, so it's only 65 degrees right now, and with winds coming out of the north at 14 miles per hour, that is ushering in that cooler air. So it's going to be very difficult to actually see those temperatures rebound all that much, but once we add some sunshine, I actually think we will. Check out temperatures where the sun is shining right now. 72 in Boscobel, still 67 in Viroqua. Platteville has jumped up now towards 69 degrees. Again, We're at 65 in Madison. Let's put things into motion, though. Those clouds will continue to pull on out towards the east. We'll see more sunshine as we move into the afternoon. That's where we'll have the best shot at seeing that high right around 71 degrees or so. Then we'll start to cool things down because the sun is going to set. So overnight tonight, temperatures, they begin to drop into the 50s, but we'll also see more cloud cover beginning to return as we head into your Saturday, especially Saturday afternoon. I still think we'll see those highs into the 70s, but you'll notice more cloud cover streaming in. And then as we get towards Sunday, we'll start to see more rain chances arriving, especially from the west. And this will likely lead to a couple days of some of that cloud cover. High pressure is in control right now. One front is moving its way towards the south and east. But pay attention to this little disturbance that we have across the eastern Rockies right now. This moves our direction as we go through times. Our high pressure retreats towards the north. More showers begin to break out over the high plains. But as that area of low pressure inches closer, that's going to bring those rain chances, especially through Sunday and into Monday. And even when it's not raining, we're just going to be disturbed enough to keep a lot of cloud cover around. So because of that, temperatures are going to be cooler for a couple days. 67 on Sunday, 70 on Monday. But notice there was a warm front involved with that. So look for a jump towards 80 as we get you towards Tuesday, and then another cold front perhaps by next weekend. In general, our forecast is very much below average. We have one day, maybe two, with above average temperatures, but it's going to be a little bit of a cooler pattern. We'll have a couple rain chances in there, of course, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, along with Thursday night into Friday. But temperatures, again, fairly below average for the most part, with the exception of Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's almost chilly weather on Sunday. I know you like your chili.
It is almost chilly weather. And, you know, I had a friend in town the past couple of days, and I told him I'm so excited. The leaves are turning, and I'm ready to start cooking chili. But I think I'm going to wait for things to get a couple degrees cooler before I do it.
Yeah,
it's getting close.
Getting close.
Yes, fall is almost here.
Thank you, Chris. Next at noon, a strange start to the school year at a Fond du Lac High School. Staff and students are trying to find a python that escaped from the science room. Stay with us. Well, staff and students in Fond du Lac are spending the first week of school searching for a missing snake. Mark McPherson reports.
It's just the first week of school, and even before kids are worried about homework, they're worried about a snake on the loose.
I was kind of spooked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, are you kidding? A snake?
A python is on the loose at Fond du Lac High School.
Yes, we are missing a ball python.
The 3-foot snake, similar to this one, belongs to a science teacher there, and sometime over the Labor Day holiday, decided to make a break for it.
It popped its top off the cage and is now on a little adventure in the school, unfortunately.
The school has been searching ever since.
I didn't know they didn't find it.
They even brought in the fire department to search with thermal cameras. They think it crawled into a vent in the classroom.
We think it's in there because we were able to see some slither marks.
I hear a lot of people joking about it.
Students are taking it in stride.
They keep joking when you're in the room. They're just saying like, all the snakes there, and then everyone like freaks out.
I don't mind snakes. It's just that I don't feel comfortable with a snake just slithering around.
The principal says the snake is not a threat to students.
It is one of the most docile snakes that there are in nature, and their intention isn't to ever bite or hurt anybody. So we're not too worried about that with students.
He says the snake just ate and won't feed again for several weeks, so could be out of sight for a while. Until then, some students are keeping an eye out.
The seniors and juniors that have been in her class before, they actually came into school pretty excited and wanting to help find it.
No, it's a nice snake.
It's a nice snake. The principal says the snake is nocturnal, so that means the overnight staff are going to keep an eye out. Let's get a final check of your forecast. Here's Chris with that.
You know, I had one of those kind of snakes in 8th grade, as my science teacher did. We never lost him. So that's some good news. One of the things I do think we will lose is the cloud cover going through the rest of the afternoon. Look for some more sunshine to show up. Temperatures will warm up a couple more degrees. Look for highs right around 71, 73 with mostly cloudy skies returning for Saturday afternoon. We'll see rain chances Sunday and then Monday night into Tuesday and then again Thursday night into Friday. As we go through the week ahead, temperatures, they'll jump around a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to remain below average with the exception of Tuesday and Wednesday. Look for next Saturday to potentially pretty chilly with temperatures only in the mid-60s for highs. So that's the weather, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.